BRICS dumping the dollar, Indian expert reveals shocking shift. Sameep Shastri, the vice chairman of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has emphasized how the trade bloc has moved away from the U.S. currency and toward using its member currencies, such as the Chinese yuan, Indian rupee, and Russian ruble. He emphasized the significance of economic independence and the threat to Western economic hegemony, highlighting the strength of the world's developing economies, particularly those of China, India, and Russia. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment so that we can get higher ratings on YouTube. Thank you. In an interview with TASS newspaper on Monday, Sameep Shastri, vice chairman of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry, talked about the shifting economic dynamics among the BRICS countries. Trade, business, and economic cooperation among the BRICS countries are facilitated by the BRICS Chamber of Business and Industry. Shastri highlighted that the BRICS nations are choosing to use their native currencies, such as the Chinese yuan, Indian rupee, and Russian ruble, instead than the US dollar to conduct commerce. He emphasized, "I think we are going to see de-dollarization soon. We have already started our trade using rubles and rupee and yuan and rupee, our own currencies, and we do not attach much value to dollar anymore," declaring, "We should not be dependent on one single currency." He emphasized the significance of nations bolstering their own currencies and economies. "Our economy and our currency should both be robust enough for us to be self-sufficient." Along with its founding members, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the BRICS economic bloc also included Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE, earlier this year. Shastri also disputed the notion that the economies of the West are the strongest, contending that the global South is becoming more powerful economically. He emphasized China's, India's, and Russia's increasing sway over the world economy. "If you just look at Russia, India, and China, we are very strong three nations among the growing economies. India has grown to be the fifth largest economy, so we are proving to the world that self-reliance is very important now," he said, emphasizing the value of independence even further. Shastri asserted that the BRICS nations are growing strategically and sustainably in spite of their geographical separation, establishing them as important participants on the international scene. In other news, developing nations are cutting their ties to the US dollar and searching for other sources of funding as a result of the US's harsh sanctions. By bridging the gap, BRICS is assisting other developing countries to be self-sufficient in their trade with the US dollar. As the globe looks toward de-dollarization to boost its local currencies and native economies, sanctions could prove costly for the United States. Following de-dollarization and sanctions, a new nation has formally abandoned the US dollar in the oil trade. The choice to use local currencies rather than the US dollar for cross-border transactions is directly inspired by the BRICS model. Instead of using US dollars to settle crude oil trade, Venezuela's state-run oil corporation, PDVSA, intends to employ digital currency. The action was taken in response to the US reimposing sanctions on Venezuela, which made trading with the South American nation more difficult. Additionally, Venezuela is reportedly considering using digital money for payments after the US made it tough for the nation to export crude oil. Venezuela is interested in joining BRICS and has submitted an application to do so. "According to what is written in contracts, we have several currencies," Pedro Telequea, Venezuela's oil minister, told Reuters. He went on to say that certain contracts stipulate that digital currencies will be accepted as payment methods. Consequently, the U.S. currency will no longer be needed to settle trade in crude oil with Venezuela, adopting the principles of the BRICS. Venezuela hopes to receive an invitation during the October summit after formally submitting its application to join BRICS. This year, the 16th summit is expected to be held in the Russian region of Kazan.